Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the live streaming platforms of the Tribune. Today is a happy day for India. We have won the series. We have entered the World Test Championships. We now today have Rohit Mahajan, sports editor from the Tribune. Let's talk to him and analyze what the series has been so far. Let's begin with: did we expect the series to get over in 3 days or not?
Uh, they smashed. Yeah, I'm not surprised at all because after we got a 90 odd run lead yesterday, um, I was sure that India would probably not bat too long. 7 wickets had already fallen. I was actually a little surprised by the way the tail wagged, and suddenly, of course, the tail collapsed as well
Hmm.
very quickly indeed. But Washington Sundar batted on and got to his 96. Unfortunate to miss his century, uh, but after that, I mean, it's not really a surprise. I think England had completely run out of ideas. They had no clue about how to bat on such wickets. They were uncertain about whether to attack. They tried attack also in the first innings, and they failed. And defense is very tough on this wicket. To try to defend uh, for 1 day or 2 days, that's very difficult. We saw that a few years ago in Delhi when of all people, AB de Villiers and
Yeah.
and the South African team did that.
Hmm.
But I'm not surprised that it ended so quickly. So yes, 3 day match. So India have won two matches in Ahmedabad in a total of 5 days, which is a little, which is amazing, and maybe a bit of concern as well. Test matches should not really end in 2 days or 3 days. Yeah,
Rohit, just like you mentioned, the batting lineup was confused from the England side, right?
yeah.
Would you say it is eternally confused? What do you think they did wrong? They could have done right.
I think it's very clear that they were over dependent on Joe Root, um, and he had performed brilliantly in the previous tour of Sri Lanka as well, where they won the series very comfortably. And but after his 218 and 40 in the first test,
Hmm.
he barely touched 40 after that. I think his highest across three test matches was about 33 runs.
Yeah.
So that was one factor. And then I think they were spooked by the previous test match in which the pink ball, um, very surprisingly, skidded so fast after pitching on the
Hmm.
smooth surface and skidded and went on straight. And 21 of the 30 wickets that fell in the previous test fell to balls that went straight by spinners. So I think they were completely spooked after that. India lost first test. England won the first test,
Hmm.
and they uh, sort of angered the hosts, and the Indians prepared wickets which were really difficult to bat on, and though we won fairly comfortably, 3-1 seems to be a very one-sided
Hmm.
margin, but it's not really that. I think the margins were much closer. Yesterday we saw how England could have gained the lead if
Yeah.
that partnership
Hmm.
of 113 runs
Yeah,
between
exactly. If that
Sundar.
partnership would not have been there, India could
Yeah,
have lost the series.
yeah. So that way, it was much closer than 3-1. 3-1 is not really a fair reflection of the abilities of the two teams. Yeah,
Just like I mentioned in the beginning, it's a happy day for India. But looking back at the match, what are the negatives and the positives that we can draw from the series and improve on?
yeah. Obviously on such tracks, uh, the Indian spinners are going to rule. I mean, there's no question about that. So looking at the figures, Ashwin took 32 wickets and uh, Akshar Patel, in his debut series took
Hmm.
27 wickets. So I think that that's a very good find that we've got, even though he's been around for some
Hmm.
time. He's only a replacement for Ravindra Jadeja,
Hmm.
who's been a fixture in the team, and they're very similar sort of cricketers, both of them. So, but apart from that, if you look at the performance of the Indian top order, you'll find that uh, people like Kohli, Pujara, Gill, and Rahane combined, they averaged barely 22, which should be a cause for concern. Um, and India were rescued repeatedly, one by Rohit Sharma, which which was actually a bit of a surprise to me, but and by then lower order people like Rishabh Pant and Washington Sundar.
Hmm.
So I think the middle order has been a bit of a concern, which shows that when you prepare very or challenging wickets, even Indian batsmen are not
Hmm.
really able to deal with spin very effectively. Um, so and there were a few innings here and there by people like Sundar or
Hmm.
Pant, which actually tilted the scales in India's favor. And apart from that, of course, Rohit played brilliantly through the series. So that would be a matter of concern for India. That Rahane's form, the form of Pujara, and the form um, of Captain Kohli, though he played a good innings in Chennai in difficult
Hmm.
conditions, but overall he got two ducks in this series, and by his standards, uh, he got he averaged 28, 28.66, which is by his standards as a very a career low, and a failure.
Hmm.
So these are things that the Indian team management would need to think about. That India's batsmen also need to get better at playing spin. Luckily for India, uh, their second spinner Bess was not at the top of his game through the series, and they were handicapped by the. I mean, maybe if Moeen Ali had been around for the last two Test matches, maybe he would have been may have been better, though he also leaked runs in the previous Test match. So, so India were lucky that their spinners were not really very effective. In contrast to, say, the Mumbai Test of 2012-13, when Monty Panesar and
Hmm.
Graham Swan ran through the Indian batting. So overall, I think India got a bit lucky that their tail wagged at the opportune time, and Akshar Patel picked up 27 wickets in his debut series. But there are certain weaknesses in the team, which the management would be concerned about and looking at.
Rohit, do you believe that despite winning the series, India did have batting issues?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The middle order, as we discussed, Pujara, Kohli, Gill also played, I think, one good knock, and then he was troubled by
Hmm.
both pace bowlers and spinners. So yes, batting would be a concern. I mean, Pant has suddenly become extremely reliable, and he averaged 54 for the series. But he's not been this kind of a very reliable batsman. So that's a bit of good fortune for India that he came good so consistently right from the tour of Australia. So and there were doubts about his inclusion in the team in Australia as well. So it's India got lucky that Pant came good, and maybe he'll continue to do well, but the middle order needs to pick up its game.
I know it's an unfair question to ask, but do you credit the winning streak or the credit of the match? Where do we give it? Who do we give it to? The batsmen or the bowlers?
Very clearly, there were two, three players who were standout performers in the series. With the ball, of course, it was Ashwin and uh, um, and Akshar Patel, and with the bat, obviously we had Washington Sundar, he topped the averages, but we had Rohit Sharma who contributed a lot. Pant, again, he got a century. Ashwin got a century. So I think these 4, 5, 6 players, of course, it's a team game and everybody does contribute. If Rohit Sharma is scoring runs, there would be somebody at the other end as well who would be partnering him. But yeah, these were the standout performers for me. Two spinners and and three batsmen: Rohit Sharma, Pant, and Ashwin's contribution.
I also understand that the World Test Championship is in June. It's too early to discuss the strategy at this point. But what do you what do you think how the match or how India is going to perform, or what are the expectations from the team itself in the
Yeah,
championship?
yeah. Um, uh, that obviously will be played in London at Lords,
Yeah.
and the conditions will be completely different than here. And so India would probably need to go in with a pace-heavy attack, which they have. And let's hope that Mohammad Shami, who has been a front runner, who
Hmm.
has been one of our top pace bowlers over the last few years, he gets fit. Ishant Sharma would be around. Siraj is there. Then of course Bumrah is there. So India has got a good pace attack for those conditions as well. But let's not forget that New Zealand is a very tough team, very competitive, and they might savor the conditions in at Lords better than India.
Hmm.
And let's also not forget that the last time we toured New Zealand for a Test series, they beat India fairly handily last year, exactly
Yeah.
around 1 year ago. So, and they knocked India out of the World Cup semi-finals as well. Uh, they are a very tough, competitive team. They play hard and they play fair, and I think they are some of the most admired cricketers in the world. And it's going to be a very tough match. India does have the resources to do well in those conditions as well. So, but the batsmen will need to pick up their
Hmm.
game. Shubman Gill has been troubled by pace bowlers
Yeah.
and spinners as well on Indian tracks. Uh, the challenge in overseas conditions, in England especially, would be much greater. He likes the wickets on which he performed in Australia because they're hard and bouncy, and he likes the ball to come onto the bat. But when the ball is swinging, as it would be in England, I believe, um, then things will be tougher for both him and Rohit Sharma. So it's going to be a huge challenge for India to beat New Zealand in that Test match.
Thank you, Rohit, for the analysis. We'll keep you updated with more information. Thank you for joining in.